Hello, welcome to
All
another
right.
episode of Yeah Boys. Sorry that we have abandoned you guys. We're not even going to describe what's been going on behind the scenes, but nobody's happy with the podcast, and we're really waking up. And this is our first try at that.
Wait,
Sean,
so just to provide a little detail. So
okay,
we had a 45-minute call to discuss like where to take the podcast, and like everyone gave their perspective and opinions. And I left the end of that call. I don't think one of us could describe the changes we're gonna make.
nope, nope. But honestly, it already feels
Going with
different.
the flow.
It already feels
Yeah,
better.
it does feel better.
Sean, swing at us. You were already starting before we started recording. Come at us.
Oh, I was just gonna say after we talked, we decided to discuss more current topics. So I know Taryn this week wanted to discuss the hot topic of the Serial podcast, which she's been listening to.
You guys, so when we all lived together in San Francisco, you guys were all watching Serial, and I was too scared of true crime back then. If you
This is
remember that.
2016, by the way. Like 2016.
I was too
Wait, Taryn,
scared
you've
of
been
it.
listening, right, to the podcast, not some documentary or something, right?
No, bitch, I'm totally caught up. I've watched the whole thing. I've listened to the whole thing, and I
Wait,
listened
what
to
do you mean
all of S
watched?
Town.
No,
Sorry, I
she
mean listen.
misspoke.
I misspoke.
Okay, sorry. I didn't know if there was some other documentary or something. Okay.
I'd like to address the fact that I did misspeak when I said watching, and now I'd like to move
Thank
forward.
you.
Um, you
We
guys
talked about this on our call, Taryn. Less mistakes.
very quickly, can you guys tell me if you think Adnan did it? I have no one to talk to about this. I'm so late.
Honestly, it's been
Okay.
so long ago, I
Well,
forget.
I know. I forget
yeah,
my opinion too.
it's been a while, but if I remember correctly, so the school bell rang at 2:15, right? And Hay failed to collect her cousin at 3:15. So that gives us like an hour-long window. And Summer placed Hay on campus between 2:30 and 2:45. And Asia places Adnan at the library
Wait,
between
Sean,
2:30 and 2:40.
what about the Marsha
So
call?
I'm a little
What?
yes, then there's the Nisha call. You can't forget
Oh,
the Nisha
Nisha.
call. So if we
Nisha.
look at the call logs, Adnan calls Nisha at
Okay,
sorry, I'm a little fuzzy on the details. I think it was 3:32 p.m. And then Jay calls Phil at 3:48 p.m.
Did he
And if
do
we look
it?
at where the cell towers ping the location at Lincoln Park places Adnan's cell phone near Lincoln Park at or around the time of the
So
murders.
did
So
he do it?
I'm a little fuzzy on the details, so forgive me if I'm getting any of this wrong. Well, I think here's my real I was joking there, but here's what I really think. Somebody, either Jay or Adnan, must have been involved, right? Because of the
Yes.
details they knew about the case.
Yes.
And then I think if I remember correctly, there were just some things that were there were some holes in Adnan's story that made it think like,
Seemed like he did it.
okay, something weird is going on.
Bro,
But like,
it's
I don't know enough
just
legally if it's enough to prove beyond a reasonable doubt, but there was some
Like,
sketch stuff.
if
I
you had to
remember.
bet if Adnan or Jay, it was Jay, right?
yeah, Jay was his friend.
Yeah.
If Adnan and okay, who did it more? Adnan and Jay or OJ?
OJ,
OJ.
definitely.
Okay.
Who did it more is a hilarious way to convict someone.
Dude,
Imagine a lawyer saying that.
Okay, who did it?
Who did it more?
guys, the algorithm's gonna come across our podcast and be like, "What are these fucking guys doing?" and just punish us.
I just am finding it so frustrating to start content
No.
that I'm so far behind on, and then there's still no answer. It's like when you're listening to those things in the real time, you're like, oh, this is gonna get worked out in our lifetime, and I'll know. And now I'm like, nothing is ever found out, and so no one knows, and it's so
Wait,
annoying.
T, can we quickly hit on S Town? I remember loving S Town. Tony, Sean, did you ever do S Town?
I am
Which one was S-Town?
obsessed with S Town.
I thought it
I
was
did.
so good. Taryn, give them the
Yeah.
overview.
S Town is the guy that calls the reporter at This American Life and says, "Hey, come check out this murder that I think happened in my town. I need someone to report on it." And he's like just this guy that thinks the world is the worst place in the world. He talks about how his hometown is shit town. Like he is the funniest, quirkiest, and most depressed person that you've kind of ever heard. So the whole story is just about him, this reporter from New York going to Shittown, Alabama and reporting on this like murder that he thinks happened. And then this whole crazy story just divulges, and it's insane. It's like one of the coolest things I ever listened to, honestly.
I
I
loved
feel
it.
like I started it but didn't finish it.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
guys
I
should
didn't
give
I
it a
didn't
shot.
like S10 as much. I thought it was
Yeah.
like it was interesting, but it was just kind of like seemingly kind of went in random directions, kind of searching for a story because the guy's kind of crazy if I
Yeah.
remember a bit. So it was like,
Yeah.
I don't know, that part of it, like Serial at least seemed
Dude,
like a neatly packed like situation.
Oh,
As Town
I
was kind of
think
all over the place.
yeah, that's fair.
I think Serial was straight up like the first podcast that I actually listened to, and I was like, "Whoa, this is a cool form of entertainment."
Me
And I
too.
remember we were driving, Tyler, we were driving to Cole's bachelor party, and like we flew to Vancouver, then drove for like 4 hours and just listened to the Serial podcast.
Totally. It was so gripping, man. It was
Do you
so
guys
Yeah,
good.
watch
it's good.
Only Murders in the Building?
Dude,
Yeah.
girls obsess
Great.
over murder shit.
Well,
I don't
but
get it.
that's the Steve Martin Short Selena Gomez show. It's
Oh,
based on Serial, kind of. So like there's like a, if you go back and watch it now with Serial in mind, there's like a lot of crossover, which is kind of fun. But it's a great show.
Interesting.
I'm obsessed with true crime now, and I love that has changed as I've aged, because now there's so much more content for me to take in the world. I love it.
yeah, there's a lot of true
Wait,
crime
wait,
stuff.
Taryn, what do you think after listening to it with
I think
fresh
Adnan
ears?
I think Adnan did it. I just think he's really charming.
What
And
was the thing that sold you?
I think I just think that like it was too many bad coincidences. Like there's a part in the podcast where um the host is like, there's no way that all of these things happened and that it wasn't him. Like he'd have to be so unlucky that like this call happened and then this person saw him and then this. It was just like, that is weird. But we all want to believe it's not him, which I think makes it interesting.
Yeah.
Anywho, that's me. That's where my head's at. I'm deep in podcasts from 10 years ago. Loving it.
That's so fun. Guys, did you watch the NCAA finals, like men's or women's this year?
Did.
It was like a week or two ago.
I didn't
Um,
watch it. I didn't watch
I
it.
didn't.
Either.
You didn't
I was
watch?
just too busy with other things this year.
Okay,
Ooh.
I have a question for the group. So we'll put this chart up, but I'm looking at a chart. I sent it in the text thread. I'll send it again. So if you're on YouTube, hopefully you can see the chart. If you're a Spotify girly, I'll try and explain the chart quickly. So there's two lines, blue and gold. There's a blue line up top, which is we're talking about television ratings for the men's and women's NCAA college championship in basketball.
I'm going to share
The
my
men's-
screen and pull it up.
Oh, okay, awesome. The men's ratings hover between like 15 to 30 million at the top of the graph. So each year between 15 and call it 28 million people watch the men's championship game. Then the women's is down at the bottom and shows the women's viewership. And it looks like it's about consistently 4 million people per year watching that. This is a graph over the last 10 years. But what's happened over the last 2 years is very interesting. The men's is like kind of coming down. It's on like a downward trend from the like mid 25s down to 15 million, while the women's just like a hockey stick chart over the last 2 years went up and to the right. They went from 5 million in viewership to 10 million 2 years ago. And then this last championship up to like, it looks like 18 or 19 million, which passed the men's for the first time. Last year, only about 15 million people watched the men's, but like 17, 18, or 19 million watched the women.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was driven by a lot of things. There was like South Carolina was undefeated on the women's side. South Carolina was undefeated. UConn had like 4 or 5 players injured, but still made it to the Final Four. Then you had the LSU program, and then of course you had Caitlin Clark, who's like blowing everything up right now and just growing the sport. I think we're all like super stoked for the rise in women's sports. I don't think that's like controversial at all. It's like very cool what's happening.
Are you?
With like
Are you?
like Angel
How
City Soccer,
stoked?
Taryn. There's now women's hockey, professional hockey league. These numbers, very exciting, very cool. I think my question for the group is like, in a world where stories drive sports, like more people watched women than men, because I couldn't tell you one story or like one player in the Final Four for men's, just no stories.
Totally.
Same.
Women surpassed. So My question to the group is, do you think this chart will sustain with women's passing men's in college viewership? And I think the way to think about that question, like, is the bet that I would ask you to make is for the next 3 years, let's say that you could add up the women's ratings over the next 3 years and the men's ratings over the next 3 years
Is
for
ratings
college.
just views?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's the right way to think about it. Who will have more, the men or women? Like, is this a flash in the pan where it just happened to be amazing stories the last 2 years? And now, like, we don't know of the next story that will drive that viewership? Or do you think this is like a sustaining trend?
Mhm. Who wants to
I
kick us
can.
I
off?
think
I'll kick us off. Oh,
Go
go ahead,
ahead,
Sean.
Ton.
Go.
Let's go
uh
Tony first. Or let's
yeah.
go Tony first, then we'll go Sean.
Okay. I I wouldn't look at this as like what it's like. Are the stories more sustainable? Like the decline in men's is because most of the men's are just going to the NBA. Like they're not having the 3 or 4 year run at a specific college. So like as a fan,
Oh,
you care
interesting.
less about the team because like they're new players. The turnover in players is just so high. Another good example is like the World Series last year. I think if you look at the World Series in 2023, it was the like uh it was very low viewership from compared to the last like 5 years of World Series. And that was because like it was the Rangers and someone else and like no one cared
Mhm.
like who what was the story there? Like if you think about baseball in the last like 6 or 7 years, uh whenever it was, it's like everyone watched the Cubs, the story of the Cubs in like 2017 or around there. It's like they hadn't won a World Series in forever. And then the story was always around the Astros and them cheating. So everyone wanted to watch them lose. So it's like there's always a story, like Brady with the Super Bowls, and uh, men's basketball hasn't had a story in a while. The story with women's has been amazing with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese from LSU. It's like everyone wanted to watch a good story. Same thing with boxing, like professional boxing. It's like who's a
Mhm.
professional boxer these days? Everyone cares about the YouTube boxers because there's just a story there. So it's like
Yeah.
it's all about the story.
So your bet
Sean,
is it will drop because Caitlin Clark is out?
Or well, do you have like the two Miami girls twins,
Mhm.
Carver? It's like I think people are watching them. There's like another. I think there's more personalities in college basketball for women. I think right now
Mhm.
than men's, so people will probably be tuning in more to that. Is my
I could
is
see
my
that.
guess.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Sean, what do you think?
Yeah, I think totally, or Tony's dead on with it being like story driven for people to pay attention to things. And that's such a great point about um like women staying for longer in college than men being like one and done, or a
Mhm.
lot of players. And then but yeah, so I think it'll be like now that they've seen the impact and that it can like bring in viewers, there will probably be more investment in like storylines and media coverage. So I think this is probably a unique pop because of the incredible storylines going on, but I think it'll probably like not drop down completely to where it was, and it'll probably be like hovering somewhere higher.
I think it'll drop like a quarter from where
Right.
it is right now. I think it'll drop a quarter because I think Caitlin Clark is really like really floated the boat for everybody. And I think obviously like there's people that everyone fell in love with that are still in college, but I know of a lot of women now that are gonna go watch her in the NBA or in the WNBA. And there's like, I don't know if you guys saw this, but the WNBA League Pass is like people were all posting about it to watch all the games or whatever. It's like $34. And I saw this all over my feed, women just being like, whether you're gonna watch a game or not, buy the WNBA pass. Go buy it. And everyone's like, bought it, bought it, bought it. And I was like, okay, I'll buy it. So this is my reminder to buy it. But like, I think now that we saw the opportunity, the girlies are just going to push anything possible. So I think the WNBA viewing will go up way higher. And I think that that will also hurt college, the women's college a little bit because people are now
Oh,
going to
right.
be watching just Caitlin Clark
The
there.
Caitlin Clark
Totally.
story.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the Caitlin Clark Nike deal that she signed? It was
Dude,
8 years, $28 million. So it's like
that's so crazy.
three
It's
and a half
awesome.
million a year, which is awesome.
Is she doing a shoe?
She's gonna do a shoe.
Probably.
That's
Dude,
cool.
I feel like this is such a win for Nike.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
jersey sales alone or whatever, and shoes alone, it feels like Caitlin Clark could sell that, like make that back for them, like a few million a year. But then they get the asymmetric upside bet of like, if the WNBA takes off, or
Mhm.
like girls basketball, if it just increases in popularity 5 or 10%, they're going to like turn that into multi-$100 million business and just like have insane returns. I think it's such a smart move on their part.
Well, let's watch this space. Watch this space, boys.
Watch this space.
Watch this space.
Watch this space, boys.
Wait, I
Wait,
don't know
what do you
that.
think her brand? What do you think her brand is gonna be? Because like I just immediately went to like Air Jordans, and like girls and guys buy Jordans, right? It's like a, I don't know, it's like a cultural thing. Everyone's in Jordans. And Air Jordans is like a perfect brand for him. I don't watch enough basketball. I think Caitlin was so good with just like her deep threes, right? Like she's a good
Yep.
shooter. What, Taryn, if you could pin her brand for a shoe, what would you call it?
So I saw this guy on, I don't know if you guys are on like graphic design TikTok at all. I fucking love it. But I saw a graphic designer say, here's what I think Caitlin Clark's brand will be. And she
sick.
always does like the little heart hands. Oh my God, the video
Ooh.
just gave me hearts. It's only
Not all of
mine.
us,
It
just,
happens on
like,
do
meetings
it.
all the time. But that's also CC, Caitlin Clark is
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
let's go.
and
Dude,
they
that's cool.
also like made it work to where, or they made it reflect like the 3-point line. Like there's like kind of like a
Oh,
curve over the
yeah.
C. And now that's
Cool.
what's gonna happen. I'm like, there's no way they're not gonna use that. Is it illegal to use that, by the way? If like, you know how now people are just posting what rebrands, oh, if I rebranded Facebook, here's what it would do, or here's what it should look like, blah, blah, blah. And they put it on social. Is that illegal to use if it's like just put out in the world?
My mind immediately goes to like copyright and trademark. Like if it's just out there, it's inspiration. So no.
Yeah. That's
Dude,
fair.
not Tony asking what I thought was like a very difficult question. Like, hey, where do you think they're going to take her brand? And I was like, oh my God, what a hard question. And Taryn's like, okay, here's what's going
I
to
saw it
happen.
on TikTok.
There's the C, there's the 3-point line, boo boo. I was like, oh my God, that was such an
Wait.
excellent answer for like off the fly.
Perfect segue. The House just passed the bill to literally ban or for
They have to
TikTok
sell
to
it
sell.
for TikTok.
They have to
Okay.
divest. I think they have to sell it to a U.S. entity, right?
Yeah.
Should we
something
buy
like
it?
that. Wait, I don't care about like the legislations or anything like that. Like just truly, like are we fans of TikTok? Like I personally love it.
Love it.
That and Twitter are my top socials. TikTok for entertainment. Like Lex and I were in bed last night laughing for an hour, like actually wheezing, like crying, laughing from stupid TikTok. You don't get that anywhere else. At least I don't.
I deeply love TikTok. And also, Cammy learns so much from TikTok. Like every
Yeah.
day, she's like, "Oh yeah, did you know?" Da da da. I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like
No,
everything.
you have
Even
to, Taryn, you have to tell everyone how she frames it. She always starts with, I read an article, I read this thing online. Dude, that's all of us though. Isn't that all of us? Like, dude, I read this thing, like, oh
I
yeah, like I
read
was reading
this
an
thing.
Economist article. No, it's like you saw TikTok for 2 minutes. Yeah.
Sean, do you use TikTok? I forget. I feel like you
No,
deleted it.
I deleted it because I mean, I enjoy it, but it like I would waste too much time on it, so I just don't have it. But
Right, boy.
I just like getting them second hand, or if like Natalie has it, like she deletes it on and off, but like I'll watch hers and like that's fun to like watch somebody else's feed. But I personally don't have it.
And T, you deleted it too, right?
I have gone through multiple phases of deletion. I'm on like my 5th reinstall, but now I have it in a good healthy place where I'm not like looking at it too much. So I keep it on my phone now, but there was a couple months there where I was like, oh, this is taking up way too much time. But
Did
I
you
kind of like Sean's
feel
strategy. I like Sean's
weird?
strategy of like, let everyone else do the work and just like send me the good stuff is I think a very good approach for TikTok.
No, I think that's a bad approach because I think you miss the good shit if you only see people's highlights. Like some of my favorite videos are things that are only like gold to me. I would never
Yeah.
send them to another person.
Yeah.
Totally.
Dude, did you guys hear that?
Yeah, I do get FOMO from not having it.
Did you guys hear that people were like developing Tourette's from TikTok?
This girl does that girl have Tourette's or no?
Whoa.
What?
Catch us. Whoa.
See, you guys are out
Sean
of it.
and I
This-
are going to have no idea what you're talking about. From the
Wait,
top, what's going
This
on?
is the wind it up girl, right?
Hey, I love her. Wind it up. But
Yeah.
people getting Tourette's
Ta-
from
Taryn's gonna pull this up. How old is she, Taryn?
I don't know. Okay.
Hold on, let's pull it up.
Okay, how
Tur-
teens,
Tourette's
a
girl.
New York Times article says how teens are recovering from the TikTok ticks. So basically, the same way everybody's going like, yeah, brother, or whatever.
What's up, brother?
That
Special team.
is, see,
Yeah.
it's like everyone now has like collective ticks that we all
Oh, yeah.
have. And like, if you're obsessive like me, it will run your day. Like, there's the end of this video that always gets clipped. This girl going, Nina. And for like a week straight, I literally
We got to ban
all
this app,
day
guys.
would be
I
like,
just
Nina,
changed my view. We got to ban this
light
thing.
it up, Nina.
But it's just like when we're in like high school or college and we just invent our own like silly thing and it
Totally.
Yeah.
I think
Wait,
it's
becomes
just that
like
people,
Anthony saying fuego or something and it like spreads for 3 months. But now it's just with the world.
Okay. Her name, the girl who started this was her name's Baylin Dupree. And she went on Dr. Phil too. And I feel like there's a clip where Dr. Phil like almost lost it, like couldn't contain himself because he thought it was fake. Because and like you watch enough of it, you're like, and half the comments are like, it's real, it's fake. And then there's this like trend where people were just basically trying to have a tick or creating like a new unique tick for themselves.
it's the brother. Everyone is all doing it's that. Which also brother was cool before that guy did it. So I don't get why we're all like, I don't know enough about sketch, but like that was weren't we all saying brother?
What's up, brother? Yeah, it's just the way he says it and then like his little like
His
pointer.
finger
It's just
pointing and
it's
does this and he
almost
does this.
yeah, it's more of like an affiliation. It's less the word and like the phrase. It's more like, yes, I'm a
Like so
fan.
tribal.
Yeah, it's
I
very
know what you're
tribal of
talking
him.
about. I watch this guy's videos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, Sean, can we talk about that thing that you sent over this week? The homeless guy?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yes.
Have you guys seen this?
No, tee it up. Tee it up.
Uh, so I sent the article to everyone beforehand, but there's this thing that's kind of gone viral where this guy wanted to do this challenge where he would put he's a millionaire or something, and he put all his assets and everything in holding and tried to go homeless and like prove that he could rebuild his wealth like from zero. So he went completely homeless, and then or rebuild. His goal is to hit $1 million within a year. So then he was like blogging about it along his journey, and he ended up like just calling it quits like after a year or 10 months or something, and he only hit like $64,000. He's based in the US, and he ended up like throwing in the towel because of like I think his father got sick along the way as well, and then he was started to deal with some like health issues too. And it's getting a lot of like criticism around people being like, well, yeah, of course, like these are like part of the problems that real people have to deal with poverty, like health. You can't just like quit and throw in the towel when you run into health issues and stuff like that. So like people it's kind of getting panned because he's like, was playing the role rather than like living it in reality. But like, I don't know. I think there's something to credit the guy for actually doing it. Like, I don't know the whole rules and how he approached it but like not using connections or previous resources. Like, I think it's admirable to fail so publicly at something, but
How is he making money? How
but
did
yeah, I
they
also
make
agree with other people where it's like, yeah, these are the real issues of being homeless.
Oh, you know what? It
I
says
think he
Black started off
started like
small,
needing
managed,
to,
selling furniture
yeah,
and taking out ads.
yeah, swapping like Craigslist furniture that was listed for free. And then he started doing some like social media managing or consult. So like, I don't know, it's always gray where it's like, are you using previous skills that are an advantage that somebody else might not have in that situation either? So
That's fair.
but yeah, I was curious to hear your guys' thought on the experience or how you'd approach it if you were in that situation.
One of my TikTok like community or feed things that hit my feed is people who go to garage sales and get beat up furniture and then just bring it into their garage and they sand it down, repaint it, put new hardware and get like a free, it's like a dresser. They pick up a dresser for free and then they sell it for like $250. It's very fun to watch. And I think that's the right way to go about it. It's just like arbitrage and garage sailing and estate sailing. Like people who will, the other day I was at an estate sale and they were selling these like beautiful hard copy books of like notable names that you'd like want to read, and they were like $1 or $2 each, and on Amazon they sell for like $25 or something.
Oh
So
wow.
I think that's how I'd go about it, is I just go try and pick up like a bunch of stuff from garage sales and estate sales and flip it.
Tyler, are you in
But
the
how do
middle of
you
a
do that without a
rebrand?
car?
I need to know if you're in
Yeah.
the middle of a
Wait,
rebrand, Tyler.
Pause.
Wait,
Pause on
no,
the rebrand.
I need to
Pause.
ask. No,
Pause on the
no.
rebrand.
Look at his sweater. He just drank out of a Stanley, and now he's talking about going to estate sales. What the fuck is going on?
This sweater was Austin's sweater, Callie's Austin. They
Okay,
were having a garage sale.
Say no
And-
more.
say no more.
They were having a garage sale.
That fits
And I
the
was trying
Tyler
to flip
aesthetic.
all their shit.
He's
So first
advertising
so
on
he
top.
went
He's
to a
like, "I'm
garage
selling this
sale
for
and now he's doing
$70."
estate sales.
Um,
Wait, T, I think the thing that like there are a few like different takeaways and learnings from this guy, but his whole thing was, hey, I'm gonna prove to everyone that it's easy to make $1 million. Like, I'm a millionaire, I can do it again if I started over, no questions asked, right? And
And like
he-
literally started homeless, didn't have an apartment, didn't have
yeah,
like, I don't know, maybe must have had a cell phone or something
nothing.
to
Let's
have
say
internet
nothing.
access, but
Yeah. Okay. So when you say like, I think the question we want to get at is like, do we think we can do it? And like, what are our thoughts there? But
No.
when you
I don't think
said,
so.
I don't think so either. I think a lot of people don't credit a little bit of luck to everyone's success. Like
Totally.
everyone's success has a little bit
Yeah.
of luck. And like one example of this is like the founders of Instagram, Kevin Systrom, right? Sold Instagram to Facebook for $1 billion. He recently built another app called Artifact, and it kind of flopped. And this is just like a stupid example of like, hey, you build one thing, you're like, that's amazing, but doesn't mean you can do it again. And I think that there's so many factors of just being in the right place at the right time, having a cool idea, and just
Yeah.
executing, and like a little bit of luck. And not enough people attribute luck to their success.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
But to your
I
point
also-
of doing the,
yeah.
oh, sorry, go ahead, Sean.
I was just gonna say, I also think like there's a certain level of like poverty too, where it's just like it becomes too hard to climb out of, where without support from other people or without
Yeah.
like there's just, you're spending all your time and resources to get past like any hiccup or bump like you ran into with health challenges, or like you're just gonna like, it's gonna be a downward spiral. I think it's compounding in both ways. Like success gets easier and easier as you reach a certain level, and it gets harder and harder once you're like below a certain level. And like people don't, it's hard for people past a certain level to put themselves truly in the shoes. Like
You know what I
at
would
the
do?
other levels.
I just came up with a master plan that I actually think is
wow,
amazing.
I'm so ready for this.
Okay, so at first I
Rebrand
was
your friend
thinking,
Tyler for 10 grand.
no, that's gonna need the full milli. I think, yeah, you take 2 seeds.
Guys, look at this new logo for Tyler.
It's just Caitlin Clark's Nike shoes. Is Tyler's new rebrand. Okay, so here I was originally thinking, okay, I'll just like be on the side of the street and like get money for like a month, and
Like
then use
panhandle,
and then use that money to do something, like to do the furniture or whatever. But like my first thought is, how am I gonna get money in the beginning? Because that feels like the biggest
Yeah,
hurdle.
exactly.
Because you
There's-
need money
yeah.
to turn it into more money. So then I thought, wait a second, what if I went to like a busy place where there's a lot of people with phones and like cameras and shit like
Who
that.
needs
So
a rebrand? Who
so-
needs a rebrand?
so I'm picturing myself at like the promenade in Santa Monica, and I have a sign that says, I'm trying to make $1 million in a year. The first 100 people that donate to me,
Yeah,
maybe
smart.
maybe I have to make
Smart.
like a minimum amount. If you donate $100 to start, the first 100 people that donate $100
It's the homeless Kickstarter.
are going to be put in a raffle to win $500,000 of my million.
Yeah, that's
It's a Ponzi scheme.
smart.
It's a
Yeah,
Ponzi
yeah.
scheme.
That's a good idea.
A scheme.
Wait, guys, I saw this thing on Twitter. Here's another idea.
Good about
This
that.
guy, this
That's really good,
dad-
Taryn.
That's a
Nice.
great idea. It's a really good idea.
Scheming your way to the top is the answer.
Guys, this dad just told a story on Twitter of his son. I don't know if the son was like 7 years old, 8 years old, or something like that, and wanted to start a business. and decided on a business of taking people's trash out in the neighborhood of like, I'll just wheel it out once a week. You see this,
I saw
Taryn?
this.
I'll wheel it out once a week. And the kid comes back to his dad. He's like, I was going to charge, I think it was $100 a month, right, Taryn?
$100 a
So, like,
year.
$100 a year. Okay, $100 a year. And he knocks on 300 doors and he goes back to his dad. This is a true story. The numbers are directional. I don't remember them perfectly, but knocks on all these doors, goes back to his dad and he goes, Dad, I only got 3 clients. I knocked on 300 doors and only 3 people agreed to give me $100 a year. So my business is only making like $300 a year or whatever. And his dad goes, son, I want to teach you a lesson about following up. Go back to every single house that you just knocked on and say, hey, would you please reconsider? I'm still doing this and I'd really like to have your business. The kid goes back, knocks on like all the same doors, 300 again. And Taryn, I forget what the numbers were, but like 4x the numbers of clients, got to like 15 or 20 clients to make like
Wow.
$2,000 a year. It was such a great story, such a good message of like how important it is just to ask twice, like go around a couple days later. But that would be another idea if I was homeless, is just like start in a neighborhood and just offer to do things around the house or like chores like that and just keep going around. And that would be another idea. Stolen
That's
from an
good.
8-year-old.
I would have
I
put it
feel
on a
like
an
freemium.
8-year-old.
From thinking about it, I feel like the best option is to seek like employment, not do something entrepreneurial initially, right?
Obviously, what are we thinking?
Like, no, I mean, like,
Such a good point.
my mind jumped to like joining the military, where you at least know you have like
Oh.
certain expenses and housing covered. I mean, I don't know like how that works, but like that seems like honestly a good option.
But
I
I
guess you
don't
have to
think that
be
was in the
able-bodied
prompt,
and
right,
like.
Sean?
I
Or
That
actually
wasn't
know.
in
Yeah,
the
that's true.
prompt.
I don't
Like,
know how the prompt.
oh, I'm
I
homeless.
actually know
Oh,
the
I got a job at
fastest way.
HubSpot.
I
if
know
you
the
have to-
fastest way, guys. The fastest way to get $1 million. You just rebrand to Ukraine.
Jesus Christ. We've had 3 massive rebrands on this episode.
Yo, I'm Ukraine. Oh shit, I'm a billionaire.
to use form the heart.
Oh my god.
Wait, you guys, can I? Does
Zelensky comes out in a Caitlin Clark jersey.
With the Amazon under it.
Does anyone have anything else that they feel is pressing, or can I make a real game for us for the rest of this chat?
I do want to do one thing. It's
Go
not
ahead.
pressing, but it'd be fun. If anyone's watching the NHL playoffs, let's do a little bet action. Who do we
Okay.
think's gonna win the NHL Stanley Cup? If you have a team.
I placed a bet on the Oilers to take it.
Oilers. Okay.
Connor
Sean.
McDavid,
Tyler's
this
taking
is
the
his
Oilers.
year. This is his year. Connor McDavid.
I like it.
Man.
Where do I get like
Coyotes.
a good look of?
Wait, Taryn, I have a chore for you, Taryn. Why don't you go into your closet and look at the hockey jerseys that you've already purchased and
Yeah.
just grab one who's in the playoffs?
Are the Rangers are in the playoffs?
The
Yeah.
Rangers were the #1 team in the NHL. They were the President Trophy winners, like best record in NHL.
That's why I'm all in on the Rangers. You know it.
There you go.
And,
there
or
you
the
go.
Kings. Or the Kings.
Okay. Shawnee, are you following?
I haven't been following. No.
Tony,
Okay.
who are you going for?
Oh, I want the Bruins, obviously. I think the Bruins have a chance. But I would pick between the Bruins. I'll take the Bruins, but I think Bruins Rangers will represent the East and the Oilers will go from the West. But I'll take Bruins.
Did you guys see that the guy that bought the Coyotes from Arizona owns like all of the Utah sports teams? That's so crazy. I feel like that shouldn't be allowed.
What, you don't like monopolies?
It just feels weird that you can own multiple sports teams in the same city. I don't know how to even describe what it makes me feel, but like it feels like
Greed?
owning
It's just like a
Rich?
lot. to
Yeah,
own.
that's feel weird.
obviously that, but then it also just feels like I don't know. It just yeah, I guess it feels like a monopoly or something. It just feels weird. I'm like, let other people get that. I mean, whatever. Let other people
Wait,
get that.
just-
Like I'm like fighting for the other billionaires.
But it's not like it's not like someone
really a
owns
man
the
of the people
Clippers.
there.
Wait, Taryn, it's not like he owns like the Clippers and the Lakers, right? It's just different sports.
It's
But all
different
the sports.
It's
all the sports. Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay. Fun
I
thing.
played Fuck Marry Kill with Cammy yesterday, and I was like, okay, you have to F, marry, kill the Yeah Boys. So the three of you, then I'm
Easy.
gonna have you guys guess yours,
Easy,
and
Tony says.
Tony, easy.
I'm gonna
Easy.
have
Tony's
all
like,
of you
I
guess
already
your
have my
answers.
3.
You're gonna guess your answers, and I will pay you $5. I will Venmo you $5 if you get all 3 right. So take a second.
Okay.
But while you think about it, we were
Which
like,
do I want to
wait,
be?
we were like, wait, this is gonna be so funny because then I can ask all the Yeah Boys to go and ask their wives and girlfriends, and then we can ask all the boys to then do everyone else's wives and girlfriends. And then we called Tyler.
I'm
and
not
Tyler's
playing this
like,
game.
Yeah, we all
no,
but
Guys,
We're
I know,
out.
the
me and
podcast,
Tyler
not
said the
playing
same
this
thing.
game.
We're
is
like,
already on
this is a
shaky ice.
trap.
It's
No.
already on shaky ice.
But then it was so funny because when you guys all reacted like that, we were like, oh, this only works because we're the gay couple. This only works for us. Like, you guys don't want to know the rest of the group's things because it's like it could happen, not could happen, but you know what I mean. Anyway, take your bet on
Okay,
just
wait.
Cammy's answers.
Guys, do we do a collaborative effort and split the winnings? Or do we just
Ooh,
all
yeah,
go at
let's-
it alone?
No, I want you all go at it alone.
Okay.
And you're
Wait, are
not
you
going to
included,
respond
Taryn? You're not.
until
You're
we
not
all
in this.
guess.
It's just between us 3.
It's just you 3, or you can collaborate if you want.
I guarantee the Mary is Sean.
You think?
100%.
Sean, you think?
Yeah. And then
I feel like
I think.
feel like
Yeah.
I'm
Okay. I
dialed
think.
in here.
But why? Talk to me about why, because I'm also going to share her reasonings.
I think just long term, she could like live with Sean. I don't think she could live with me, live with Tyler.
I think
That's-
Taryn and I are probably the most similar personality-wise, like
Yeah,
sense of humor
that
and
too.
stuff. So I could
Yeah.
see it being a easy transition. I also have soft facial feature. Like I could basically give me Taryn's wardrobe and I'll start growing out my hair.
And you're there.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Cammy would kill me, marry Sean, and fuck Tony.
I was gonna say she would kill me.
It's
Just
between
'cause-
me and you.
Yeah.
Why would she kill either of you?
Well, Tony, it's obvious. For me,
Yeah.
I think Cammy would find me intense and opinionated, and yeah, I think those reasons. That's why she wouldn't marry me, I think, too.
Huh.
Okay, you guys ready?
Wait, Sean
Yeah.
needs to go. I
You're
guess we're
kind of all
directionally correct.
agreeing.
I think
Yeah,
I
we're
think
all
I agree
agreeing.
with that. Reasoning.
Nobody gets any money.
No.
Yep.
Did she kill Tony?
She
must.
kills Tyler.
Oh,
She
okay.
kills Tyler because she thinks that she would feel pushed to excellence in a way that would make her feel upset very often. So that was her.
Shame.
That
But
was
Cammy,
hers.
Cammy, I just house sat your dogs.
She loved you.
Did you
but-
really?
Yeah, they stayed over the other night and watched our dogs. So she would kill Tyler for that. She would. Do you want F first or Mary first?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, she would marry Anthony because I know, shocked me too.
That is chaos.
Everyone's face. She feels that Anthony and Anthony and her have like they could encourage each other to do bigger things in the way that would speak to each other. So they would have like a very fruitful life. She also said that she thinks that it would end in divorce, but that they could have kids together very quickly. And then we could be like sister wives with Lexi. And it's like a whole thing where like,
That's so
that's
funny.
the vibe. And then she would F Sean because
He's handsome as hell.
because all of the reasons, and one thing that I'm not going to say on here, but
no,
like she would F Sean.
There you go.
There you go.
Fun game, huh?
Wow. Kind of a wild card
I'm
answer there.
desirable.
Desirable.
Desirable. She's like, she also said about marrying Anthony. This was the most shocking piece for me. She said about marrying Anthony that like they have completely different beliefs on like almost everything, but you guys are always willing to talk about things and like be heard about things. And
Yeah.
so, and she said with Sean, she feels like you guys are both, you similarly run through from your feelings, so that would be a disaster
Yeah.
too, because you would never work things out.
True.
Yeah.
Fair.
Anyway,
Wait,
fun
how
game.
do you win in this game? Like what do you want to be?
Not killed.
That's true. Tyler universally lost.
I think
Yeah.
that you can only lose.
That's true. You can only
Hey,
lose.
Taryn, can I get that rebrand? I'm in deep need of it.
Wait, God, I need a question. Wait, real quick for Taryn and maybe Tyler because you babysat some dogs. Rufus is now 5 months, and he's like he's teething. And this
Oh,
morning, I was not afraid of him, but he was like biting me and like, dude, I don't know if you can see, but like I have so many marks. This is just from today. Like there's some bite marks, and then like my arms are all kind of
yeah.
like cut up just from this morning. And I was like, I had to like pin him down, and he was like just going like crazy. And I was like, oh, I hope no one hears or sees this. But I was like, I need to like let this dog know that I'm in charge. And then
Yeah.
finally some other dogs came and he was running around with them and finally got tired out. But I was just like, is this normal? He was
Yeah.
going crazy.
Yeah. It's like zoomies, but like for a whole period of time, it feels like just because
Yeah,
they're
but just
so
like
little
biting
and
you.
yeah, biting.
Okay.
Riggy
As
used
long
to
as it's
scratch us
normal.
up like crazy,
I think you can. I
Okay.
think you have to train them not
but
to
you
bite,
have to
right?
train them.
Yeah, we got to get him like a collar that like I hate to say it, but like kind of chokes him. He's just in a harness that like he just knows how strong he is because I'm just like pulling him.
There's prong collars that we use for both of our
That's
dogs that like it
that's
doesn't
literally what
actually
someone
hurt
said.
them. It just
Yeah.
like puts pressure on their neck and like
Yeah.
kind of like makes them stop and think.
Yeah.
And those work every time. But yeah, it's really scary. But then you definitely want to train him as fast as possible because he's gonna get so big that like if he's not trained, then he's just gonna be a freaking monster.
Tony,
Yeah.
my aunt and uncle have trained guide dogs, and they're really good with knowing like the proper way to get them to do,
Oh,
to
cool.
like train them not to bite, to train them to like walk, like actually be good at like walking, like all the little things where it's like I don't know how to do it this,
Yeah.
but like if you need, I can connect you with them and they can,
Sweet.
because they're also they're teaching my mom all of that stuff right now for Wrigley.
Oh.
Tyler, before they're teaching my mom.
Yeah,
Sit,
no, for
Susie.
my mom who's
Susie,
got a dog,
come.
to clarify.
Tyler, before we go, did watching Frank and Riggins make you want dogs less or more? Less, huh?
I think less, but it's only because I had like allergy stuff flare up.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
I'm used to being around dogs for a few hours, but Frank like doesn't leave your side, and like in the bed he was like both were like sleeping with us and on top of us in the blankets. So I was like sneezing and my chest was itching and all this
Oh my
stuff. I was
God.
like, oh man, this is like different than I thought. So it did feel like it pushed that back like a couple months or whatever.
That's fair.
But it was still
Sorry.
nice. It was nice, but yeah.
They're a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
They
great.
think they're human.
All right,
Tony,
everyone.
Tony,
Oh.
I'm about to go meet with Conrad, your buddy Conrad, who has the Patreon for chefs and like
Prevecco?
recipes and subscriptions. Yeah.
Patreon
He
for
just wanted to
chefs.
meet up.
What's
Dude,
that?
Prevecco. You can buy as a chef creator, you put your recipes on this app, Prevecco.
How do you spell it?
Is it Prevecco or Preveccio? It's
Probably
PRO.
Provecho.
Preveccio, yeah. PROVECHO. The logo's great. It's like a little chef hat. And then as a viewer, like you can go and like unlock recipes and things like that, or like
Cool.
support your favorite chef creator. Yeah, it's really cool.
Dude, it's so crazy that we are at the point in our tech lives where we are all saying Patreon for blank. Like we did
Yeah.
this. The people in this room did this. That's so cool.
That is cool.
Good job, everyone.
Nice job, everybody. Okay.
Okay, that was fun.
Good to see you all.
I truly had a
See you guys.
blast.
That was so
You
fun.
truly had a blast.
That felt
It was-
worthwhile. And Tyler, if you come at us with any feedback, I'm gonna freak out.
I have no feedback. I have no feedback, just praise.
All right, love you guys.
That was fun.
All right, later.
Love
Bye.
you guys.
Matt,
See ya.
how do I stop recording?